This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will, A Wonderful World. In the last episode, the clock has started ticking, and Chang's mission to ever save King Baekya is getting ever closer and closer. Will we be able to do it in time? I know, let's find out. Let's do it with my father. My father was a brilliant man. Or, this is the cat, right? I can't be giving them the creepy old man voice. Luckily, the game gives us a lot of time to finish it. Like, it expects me, well, I mean, as it should, to expect me to take forever to try and figure out how to, like, get the final little bit. But sounds like we need to, like, somehow find the final conclusion and everything. But we'll see if we did it. My name is Spotty. I can't recall how long I've lived. For many years, my life was the same. I looked for food at the shop or in the trash. I lay in the sun. I looked for food again and found a place to spend the night. Day after day, year after year, although there was only one thing that was different. I'd been getting older. I was walking alone along a path in the suburbs. I came across an empty lot. This used to be a gathering place for the homeless cats around here. Not too long ago, it had been circled by some yellow tape. I had heard that some rich Chinese real estate developer bought the place, along with a whole lot of old residents around here. Soon they were beginning to build a brand new shopping center. It didn't really matter to us anyway. There were plenty of other spots for the cats. Besides, the cats that used to hang around here had rarely seen anyone nearby anymore. Most of the cats whom I was familiar with had died in random corners of this big city. Unlike house cats, we had to pay the ultimate price for our freedom. Life in the city was brutal and challenging. Most of us were forced to say goodbye to this world before we even turned 3. The few others like me who were fortunate enough to survive for more than 10 years could barely walk too far nowadays. Sometimes cats like us might even slip and fall into a toilet when they were drinking from it. As my body kept getting slower, my mind, however, seemed to be getting more active. I had been spending more and more time thinking about my cat life recently, especially about my dear old daddy and all the lessons he had passed on to me. My daddy had always been so good to me. Many of the things he had taught me were still so valuable even now. I used to think I could stay young forever, but I had reached the same age as Daddy when he found me. Daddy had mentioned that he used to be a house cat once, and he was one of the incredible lucky ones. He was adopted soon after birth by a rich couple and was living a dream life. He never had to worry about food or shelter. The humans adored him too. Soon the couple had a family with a cute daughter. One day the male human took Daddy to the park for a walk. That day he met a breathtakingly beautiful orange tabby. Daddy was immediately smitten. He used every trick in the book to get us humans to take him out for walks so he could get to see her. Maybe God had been blessing them, as they were able to get more and more together more and more often. At last, on the edge of the roof of his human apartment, he and his tabby spent a whole lovely night together, harmonizing the most romantic nocturnes ever known to cats, maybe humans. I don't know, cats having sex doesn't sound something that appeals to me, frankly. While Daddy was enjoying his love life, his home life was abruptly turned upside down. His lovely family of humans collapsed. Endless fights and quarrels, smashed dishes and plates, every single day. Even Daddy's fate took a cruel turn on the 10th day after the male human had left. He was standing next to his bowl, which had been empty for over a week, and meowed in a hurt, hungry voice at the female human in the kitchen. She finally exploded and threw the burning hot pan, filled with boiling soup at Daddy. That was how Daddy lost almost all of his sight. He never saw his orange tabby again, and he never went back to that dreadful place which he once called home. When he found me in the trash pile in the market, the first thing he told me was to never trust humans. I used to feel puzzled about how Daddy ended up like this. However, a few years after Daddy had passed away, I accidentally gathered enough pieces to put together the puzzle of his fate. The same night when Daddy had been enjoying his time with his orange tabby on the roof, his male human was doing the exact same thing with the female human of the orange tabby in the bedroom of Daddy's home. Maybe it was because the human male had been too careless, or maybe the female human had been suspicious for a while, or it might have been because of the hairs that Daddy and the tabby had left around while they were playing. For whatever reason, the human was soon out of the bag. In the human world, besides being in heat, they had things like morals, laws, relationships, and all kinds of nonsense. You tell it, cat. The female human probably was not allowed to kick and scratch the male human, so she turned against Daddy, who didn't have what they called human rights. Sometimes I wondered, if Daddy had never met his orange tabby, would he still hate humans? The 2 young male humans were walking towards me. I remember them. They worked at the police station that I had frequented for many drinks. When they started to pass by me, the younger one stopped, before the other one with purple hair did. I sat down and looked at them, hoping for something unrealistic. The younger human pet my head with his hand. I could smell the alcohol in his breath. Lieutenant, are you allowed to have a pet at your place? It's too bad that my apartment is not pet-friendly. The old man looked uncomfortable. Well, I'm not good with this kind of thing. Well, just as expected. When I was a few years younger, I would always put on a cute face and meow at the humans who pet me. Now I knew for sure that if I sucked up to them, no one would take me home. The two police walked farther away from me in the other direction. There were fewer and fewer people on the road. Eventually, there was only me. At the end of the road, under a dim yellow street light, I saw a big human and a small one. The adult had a beer bottle in one hand, and the other hand kept hitting the face of the crying child. I kept walking towards them at my own pace. I was just a passerby. In this city, things like that... Excuse me. In this city, things like that happen all the time. No one would give it a second look, not even a cat. Just when I was about to walk past them, I suddenly realized that a third person had joined the pair under the light from out of nowhere. It was a tall, thin, blonde foreigner in a blue blazer. He grabbed the collar of the drunk human. Then he started hitting him in the same way that the drunk had hit the child in his face. The blonde foreigner. He reminded me of several blonde foreigners who used to live around here. They seemed to have disappeared slowly, one by one. I couldn't remember the last time I had seen any of them. The foreigner pushed the drunk man. I heard the loud noise of a huge collision. A gray truck with its headlights broken drove past me, moving quickly towards the direction of the streetlight. The child stopped crying. The gray truck went past the scene of the fight without slowing down and quickly disappeared out of my sight. It was like life itself. No matter how hard one struggled and fought, life just kept going on and on. Meanwhile, we were just getting older and older. Other than that, nothing ever changed. That being said, this blonde young human was an exception to humankind, at least. I sat down near the child and decided to enjoy this vigilante justice. The child stared blankly at the man being beaten. He mumbled something. 1, 2, 3. I pondered curiously for a while before I finally understood. He was carrying the teeth that had been knocked out of the drunk man's mouth. Humans never really understood us. They thought we all liked being petted and tickled, and that all we ever wanted was dried fish and milk. Perhaps similarly, we never really understood humans either. A true understanding between us was probably something we would never be able to achieve in our lifetimes. I left those three humans farther and farther behind me. I kept walking ahead, looking for a place to spend the night. Spotty. I bet I know who the blonde foreigner was, if you haven't figured that out already, folks. Alright, let's get this one done. Okay, that's one. Oh, we can't get the best ending here? What? Interesting. Well, let's, this is interesting. I wonder why. Okay, anyway, okay. Just checking the time on that. Alright, let's try our various endings, shall we? Okay. I think I know what this... A little bit better than last episode, anyway. I think I have a better idea of this one. That one took me a hot minute for some weird reason. I don't know why. I think I was just in a weird state of mind, I think. Yeah, this will get us one. I know we can't get the best ranking now because some other thing is preventing us from doing that. So, the gray truck drove into a small ditch only meters away from the three of them. A woman with short hair climbed out of the smoking truck, looked around, and ran away as if there was something urgent. Meanwhile, everything continued under the light uninterrupted. It was like life itself. No matter how hard one struggled and fought, life just kept going on and on, uninterrupted. Okay, that's the same. Still. The foreigner was still hitting the man. The drunk man was still begging for mercy. The child stared blankly out and mumbling something. Fish. Lifetime, something we never realized. Let those humans kept walking ahead looking for a place to spend the night. Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay, get the other ones. Okay. And then we should get one more before we have to. And obviously in this case it sounds like we have to change a previous choice to get this ending. The foreigner attempted to grab the child before he was hit. Unfortunately, he was too slow. Under the streetlight, the child was lying in a pool of blood. The gray truck either didn't notice the accident or decided to ignore it. It didn't slow down one bit and quickly disappeared out of sight. The drunk man stumbled and ran away as soon as the foreigner left him alone. He left his son behind. Or perhaps it wasn't his son in the first place. The foreigner set the child down on the side of the road and ran after him. The man. Snow began to fall from the sky. It wasn't the same season to be snowing. I felt the face of the child. It was already getting cold. If I stayed there any longer, I'd freeze to death myself. I left the child under the light farther and farther behind me. I kept walking ahead, looking for a place to spend the night. Okay. And then, okay, we need one more. Okay. Child. Okay, that should get us, yeah. Then we'll have to do something different to get that S rank, I assume. Under the streetlight, the blonde foreigner was lying in a pool of blood with his face down. A woman with short hair and 2 dramatic earrings jumped out of the gray truck, spit out a few curses when she saw the gruesome scene, and then hastily got back in the truck. She didn't even notice that a metal box had fallen out of her pocket while she was climbing back into the truck. I think I know who that might be, actually. The woman stepped on the gas as soon as she got into the driver's seat, and the truck quickly disappeared out of sight. The drunk man survived after the foreigner had pushed him away, but he had disappeared from under the light with the child, and he'd been gone for quite a while. Blood was still spilling out from underneath his body. I walked closer and saw a big dark scar on the back of his neck. Daddy used to have a similar burn mark in his eyes. He must be another poor soul with a past full of stories. He probably wouldn't survive with an injury like that. Besides, we didn't really know each other, and I was just a homeless cat. There was nothing could really possibly done to help. Snow began to fall from the sky. It wasn't the right season to be snowing. If I stayed there any longer, I'd freeze to death myself. I left him under the light, farther and farther behind me. I kept walking ahead, looking for a place to spend the night. And we get into the wild with that. So, okay. Okay, so we need to do something to affect this ending. And we don't have any other letters yet, right? Okay. So we can't do anything. Oh, we can do his S rank now, too. Okay. Let me do that one really quick, and then we'll figure out how to get Spotty's alternate ending. So, okay. So Kang, I'm trying to remember what the option for his ending was going to be. Let me look at the stuff again. It's been like an episode or two since I last checked that, so let me look at our options there. Let's see. I think I recall. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Now let me get back to that. Oops. Nope. Retry. Okay. And that'll give us the alternate S rank. Because that way, we had to basically get S rank from one of the previous options, and then obviously get Chang's story to that point, and then we could do this. Sniper shot from afar and destroyed Lieutenant Kim's shoulder blade. My instincts had immediately pulled Kim from me as a shield when the wind blew up in the curtains in case there was a sniper. Otherwise, I would have been the one that got hit. Bird chirping must have been a signal for the shot. Take the shot! I pulled Kim up off the floor. When I grabbed his shoulder intentionally, some of this is the same. Put chaos on the ground. Whisper in the pretty face. Blood speaker. Some people in are exhausted. Strangely, there are one both possessed. One of them try to take me in. Okay, you had 3. 5 fingers. 5 finger discount. The pins hit the bullets. The bullets flew out barrels with airflows of their tail. They were flying towards me. No, they were flying above me. Oh no, it was me who had just fallen to the floor. Something just grabbed my ankle and pulled me down. All 5 of them were in a shock for a brief moment before one of them was suddenly struck down after being hit by the palm from above. 1 down. Second one was kicked in the crotch and curled up in a ball, rolled to the corner. 2 down. Third one was hit by a series of heavy punches, the last of which sent him flying to the other end of the living room, knocked out the 4th man. Only one left. When his weapon was snatched from his hand by a wild ribbon, he was so scared that he jumped out of the broken window immediately. All of a sudden, there was nobody left in the room but Kim, me, and the stupid kid, Chang Men. He was breathing heavily and had blood all over his face. He must have been through some heavy stuff earlier. He tossed me a small metal box. It was a recorder. I pressed play. Kim's voice came out. Next to us, Lieutenant Kim wet himself upon hearing his own voice. Hey, where the hell did you... I stopped myself. That was me? Okay. Hey, where the hell did you... Stop myself. I realized that the kid had fallen asleep. He had fallen asleep while he was standing up. I moved the kid's right arm over my shoulder. I felt his coat rub against the old scar around my neck, on my neck. I'd gotten it when I was still a kid trying to save someone from a fire. And I was 13 years old and I happened to be walking past a burning house. Someone was calling for help inside. It was in a quiet, rural area, and I couldn't see any other people nearby. I had no choice but to rush in. Oh, I think I know what he's talking about, too. Inside the raging fire, I carried a little child on my back while trying to get out of the house. My pants caught fire. A nearby cabinet collision and 2 nails sticking out from a piece of wood caught me in the neck. The only thought I had in my mind was, why am I so unlucky? I was just passing by. So when the kid I had just saved was crying and thanking me, I suddenly wanted to say something funny to him. I remembered a line from a cartoon that was on TV every day. The hero of the show would yell the same line at the end of every episode. I imitated him and yelled, "This is my justice." The little kid laughed. So did I. Later I became a policeman. Although not many good things happened to me since then. Disappointment, despair, feeling of powerlessness when I wanted so badly to accomplish something but I couldn't. Still, I knew I hadn't made the wrong decision. I had no regrets. And there we go. I think that's the end of his story, I think. Yep. So after that, we get, we get rotten to the core. Okay, we have some time. Let's keep going. Rotten. The most expensive barbecue restaurant in Busan was located 2 blocks away from the Busan Police Department. It even had a presidential suite that was large enough for over 40 people. The sergeant of Unit 1 was standing on the stage with a bright red face. He was fondling the few surviving hairs on his head while singing horrendously off-key karaoke of some crass internet viral song. Below the stage, however, the entirety of Unit 1 was cheering him on. Officer Ji Yeon and I were the only people sitting quietly in the corner, feeling completely out of place. It was the send-off banquet for Sergeant Zhang. Sergeant Zhang had moved away from Busan due to family reasons, and he had applied to be transferred to the Incheon Police Precinct. Starting next week, we would have a new sergeant. For me, it had been the best news I'd heard in a long time. The old fire had never truly considered Officer Ji Yeon and I to be members of his unit because of our history in Unit 4. Ever since we'd been transferred here, all I'd gotten to do was fill out reimbursement forms for his traveling expenses. Officer Ji Yeon had been treated even worse. She'd been doing all kinds of chores like making coffee or cleaning the office. Ouch. Sometimes he even had her clean the trash cans. Shouldn't you guys be cops, students? Anyway. Even the new interns had never been treated this way. It was totally sexist. No, yeah, I agree with you. He had been here for a month, but we had yet to meet the lieutenant of Unit 1. In fact, everything had been under Sergeant Zhang's command, long before us. Contrary to popular opinion, the members of Unit 1 were not so-called elite police officers. The most important part of their jobs was to figure out how to stick up to Sergeant Zhang, not to solve more cases. Or suck up to solve more cases. Some of the most senior officers here completely checked out a long time ago. All they ever did all day was browse travel websites or do some online shopping in the office. It was a textbook example of a waste of taxpayers' money. In any case, Sergeant Zhang had enjoyed many more than a few drinks tonight. His face was completely red, and he looked like he was having a great time. Don't worry, although I'll be leaving you soon, the new sergeant is a close friend of mine. He'll take good care of every single one of you guys. Thunderous applause. Sir, we'll keep up the good work. Sir, we'll fly to Incheon often to visit you. Sir, don't forget to send us souvenirs from Incheon. Of course, I'll never forget you people. Sergeant Zhang held up a cocktail glass. I'll miss you all very much. I chugged another bottle of beer. Sir, you are the police officer that I always admired the most. Dead silence. Everyone, including Sergeant Zhang and Officer Ji Yeon, were staring at me. Knowing that we were unpopular with the sergeant, most of the members of Unit 1 had never interacted with us that much, so that they wouldn't offend the sergeant. So hearing me saying that I admired the sergeant must have felt as shocking as witnessing a nuclear bomb being dropped. But there was nothing shocking about it. The sir I was referring to had nothing to do with the mostly bald old fart. I was thinking about Lieutenant Kang. I still remember the night when Kim Jong-ho had been officially arrested. Lieutenant Kang, Officer Ji Yeon, and I had a small celebratory dinner in a small BBQ restaurant, completely unlike this one. I thought that the ideal police career I had always hoped for would finally begin. However, Lieutenant Kang went missing just a few days later. Even now, we still had no idea why he'd left us, where he'd gone, or if he had run into some danger. After Lieutenant Kang disappeared, the entirety of Unit 4 was officially Ji Yeon and I. The captain had no choice but to transfer us into Unit 1. The whole of Unit 3 was under intense investigation, so there were no other places for us to go either. But I would never have guessed that Unit 1 would turn out to be so different than what I had imagined. Maybe once the old fox left, things would get better. Maybe I would still have a chance to be a real police officer, or a real boy, instead of submitting phony reimbursement requests for fake expenses. I was feeling dizzy from the alcohol, and all I could think about was the memories from my days in Unit 4. I was about to open another bottle when someone slapped me on the shoulder. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I would never ever realized in a million years that you, a kid from Unit 4, admired me so much. Oh, hey, I would have never ever even realized in a million years that you, a kid from Unit 4, would... Oh, wait, that's the old man, isn't it? I made a decision. Oh, is that the old man? Oh, okay. Hey, I never realized in a million years that you, a kid from U4, admired me so much. I'm so pleased. I made a decision. I'm not leaving anymore. What the? I thought the old fart was just drunk and speaking nonsense. As it turned around, he really did eventually withdraw his transfer request and stayed on as... Oh, it was supposed to be... Okay, never mind. I was doing the wrong voice. As a sergeant of Unit 1. Life had not changed at all. I was still submitting fake reinforcement forms every day. That's what you get for being sarcastic. Officer Ji-yeon was still making coffee and cleaning the office. I'm surprised she just didn't quit. I should not have said that to him. I could have just missed Lieutenant King in my... I could have just missed Lieutenant King in my head. He couldn't hear me anymore. Anyways, Chang got mend. Wow. Way to fuck up, man. Alright, anyway. What do we got? Oh, looks like it's only 3. Oh, well, that shouldn't be too bad then if we only have a few choices. And it is 3 options here, so... probably just swap that might be enough. Miss you all. Okay. Well, that'll guess I assume that'll be not the right way to go. And then the other one will be the right one. These people and their disgusting flattery. How hypocritical did one have to be to even stomach those words? I was beginning to feel sick. I could feel a swell of anger in my gut. Even if I didn't do something quick, I was going to explode. I grabbed my empty ball and pushed through the crowd. What are you? Hey! The pretentious senior officers unwillingly made a way for me to pass through while anxiously waiting for some drama. Let me give them what they wanted then. I walked up to the stage and smashed the beer ball next to Zhang's feet. Then I punched him right in the nose. He fell over and rolled off the stage before he could even utter a word. Cries of surprise and anger erupted off stage. Chang-gon men, what are you doing? I squinted my eyes and looked at the crowd. Everyone had a shocked expression on their faces, but as soon as I looked in their eyes, they immediately turned away. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. LOL. I made up... Excuse me. I made up my mind before I'd even thrown that punch. It would be a total waste of time to stay here any longer. I grabbed my jacket and walked straight out of the restaurant. As long as I had my justice in my heart, I could still be a hero. At least he got to punch a dude, although he probably paid for it much later, but still. Okay, so if we do this, that should give me the, yeah, that should give me the best ending ever. Dead silence. Everyone, including Sergeant Zhang and Officer Ji-yeon, was staring at me. What did you say? What did you say? Officer Ji-yeon wagged her finger in front of my eyes, trying to confirm that I was still sober. I said I'll miss you all when I leave. You and Captain Gong. And that's probably it. I can't stay in the stupid Unit 1 for one more second. All these hypocritical idiots. I've had enough. I slammed the empty bottle on the table and stood up. The moment when I left, I felt like a huge burden had finally been lifted off my back. I went back to the office wing of Unit 1. I turned on my computer, finished the resignation letter in only 30 minutes. Then I printed it out and tossed it on the old fart's desk. It would be the first thing the new sergeant would see next week. I sat at my desk for a long time before leaving. I kept staring at the phone. I felt completely at a loss. I imagined the phone would suddenly ring and that would be Lieutenant King calling. I tried to imagine what he would say to me and what I would say to him. But the phone never rang. It was all just in my head. I couldn't understand why he'd simply disappear without even leaving us a message. If he had run into something that forced him to leave, why wouldn't he come and discuss it together with us? Maybe we had never been as close as we always thought. My own justice. Oh, so there's no S rank for that. So obviously that's not the official ending to it. And I guess that ranks for him quitting and leaving. So, all right. Well, let's see. So we need to see. That should be a split path there, and we needed the cat's alternate thing. So how do we figure that out? Well, it is this one right here. We swap this out to his blank one because we need to swap this out to Operation Z. Remember before in Soap Opera when I said there was going to be someone important? Well, yeah, see, we get a... Oh, and we also get a letter, too. I've got something for you. A letter! Farewell, Busan Police Precinct. So we get that if we switch it to Z. And because we did that, we have a new ending for the cat one. So let's do that one really quick. And then I think we'll call it an episode. I was hoping to get to the end today, but I realized because of how much time there is, because I want to show what happens when the time ends, as well as me finishing the game, because I've only got like a handful of things left to do. So, okay. So I need to figure out what his... I mean, I guess I could get to... so I guess I could get to the Kang's one as well, if I wanted to, but I don't know on that one if I want to do that or not. Like I said, I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to go over too much, and I'm also trying to waste a little bit of time so that because that timer is an hour and 30 minutes. It's not like a exaggerated hour and 30 minutes. It's an hour and 30 minutes. So just to let you know. So okay, but yeah, if we switch it to X, I forgot actually. Before I do that, I want to show you why that's important to do, because I think on the end on that one, let's see. Sorry, let me show you the ending on that. It's because like instead of Dad like lasting forever, telling him not to trust humans or whatever, he basically got ran over. So it changes kind of his mentality about things. I don't know why that, because that actually affects like another decision somewhere, but I don't know why. Oh, probably because, I mean, it gives us the Z ending for Chang, so we can see his ending. I guess that's why, but anyway, sorry. Let me go back to this now. Okay, so I think there might also be something in the ending conditions that change, because remember how it talked about how certain stories would end differently after a certain point of time or whatever? But I don't remember every single decision in the game that affects everything, because it's so minor. It's like, and you have to look through every single thing. It's almost kind of annoying, almost. Like, it's a puzzle, but it's not a easy puzzle, let me tell you. That's probably one of the few problems I have, is some of the puzzles seem a bit asinine to solve, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe from a true person who does puzzles and stuff like that, maybe it makes sense, but under the streetlight, the blonde foreigner was lying in a pool of blood. A woman with short hair and 2 dramatic earrings jumped out of the gray truck. She spit out a few curses when she saw the gruesome scene and hastily got back into the truck. She didn't even notice that a metal box had fallen out of her pocket while she was climbing up back into the truck. The woman stepped on the grass as soon as she got into the driver's seat, and the truck quickly disappeared out of sight. The drunk man survived after the foreigner pushed him away, but he had disappeared from under the light with the child and had been gone for a while. Under the light, a cat, blood was still spilling out from underneath his body. I walked closer and saw a big red scar on the back of his neck. Dad used to have a similar burn mark on his eyes. It reminded me of the rainy days when I had lost Daddy, and the accident had taken him from me. Blood was spilling out beneath Daddy's body as well, and I could remember that there was a boy running out of the car that had killed Daddy. I suddenly recognized that this foreigner was born and raised here. I could not remember what his name was, but I could remember the scar on the back of his neck. He was the boy from that day. I was right, it was him. I still could not remember what his name was, but I could remember that his mother had the same blonde hair as him, and they lived up the hill nearby. I could also remember that he used to buy me milk when he was a child himself. Ever since the day of the accident, I hadn't seen him again until now. Snow began to fall from the sky. It wasn't the right reason to be snowing. I lay down his bleeding leg, thinking that maybe this would help him a little. If someone else walked by, I could then ask for help. The air turned us around us was getting colder and colder. The snow was piling up on us thicker and thicker. My eyelids finally couldn't resist the exhaustion anymore. They were closing slowly, slowly, and slowly. When I woke up, I thought I had died, or maybe I was in a dream. I was lying on a human bed, covered with human sheets. Its owner was lying next to me, breathing steadily. It was a strange room, filled with warmth and yellow sunlight. There was lots of thick books on the bookshelves. A globe was placed on this top shelf. A row of lively-looking small wooden figures was lined up next to it. A light breeze came in from outside the window, and the distinct smell of a sunny day right after it snowed. It tasted a little cold, a little sweet. On the balcony there was a flower that had never been seen before. It was the color of fire. It was waving lightly in the sea breeze like a small dancing flame. The sunlight shone through the petals and cast a bright red shadow upon an unfinished diary that was open on the desk. Beside the diary I saw a metal box with blue curly carving, as the box had been dropped by the short-haired woman. The human's blonde hair was shining in the sunlight. His calm, sleeping face seemed to be assuring me that this was just another normal, peaceful day. I still could not remember what his name was. I did not know where he had been or what he had been through all these years, but none of that mattered anymore. What mattered was I finally found a place to return to. If you didn't already figure that out, that was Pi. That had rescued him. Oh, and apparently we can press a button to go somewhere. Well, okay. Well, let me. Well, it looks like we might be on the cusp of the edge of things, folks. The cats have found his end. We just got to do one more thing with Chang, and then whatever this open door is. What is inside the open door? What would have happened if time had run out? Find out next time in the finale of Will, A Wonderful World. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.